What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Welcome back to the video Axe Entertainment. I am your host, Zack Axe, bringing you my ranking and review of the 2025 NXT No Mercy PLE. Now, I am so sorry this is coming out very, very late. At this point, we are already a week and some change away from when this happened, and I wanted to get these out right for you guys as soon as they're done. But I've been slacking a little bit, had some crazy stuff happening. But it's coming out. It's better now than never, I guess, right? Anyways, overall, I think the show was pretty good. I don't think there was any amazing matches, but I don't think there was any necessarily bad matches. So let's get right into my ranking. At number 6, we have Sol Ruca versus a mystery opponent that would be answered by Jada Parker. Now, of course, Sol Ruca was going to be wrestling Lainey Reed tonight, but it ended up not happening. Lainey Reed was not medically cleared to compete, and instead we got Jada Parker. And I think Jada Parker did a great job, making a match on the fly, I guess. I don't know how long they've known that Lainey wasn't going to compete, but I know they announced it on the pre-show. But overall, I thought the match wasn't terrible, but it's a stipulation 5-minute match, so like I don't think that you can really have a better match than this. And I think they put on a pretty entertaining match. So Ruka came out with a win, which is what I predicted, so put me at 1-0, but that's coming in at number 6. Coming in at number 5, we have Ethan Page versus Tavion Heights for the North American Championship. Now, this match is a match that had a storyline that I haven't really cared too much for. I like that they're doing something with Tavion Heights, but I don't like that, it just wasn't a very entertaining storyline. It was just always Canada versus America, and yeah, that works sometimes. I just don't think it was really working for the storyline, even though I know Tavion is a former Olympian. I don't know, I just couldn't really get behind this storyline for some reason. And we had the Chelsea Green stuff and the 2-on-2, and then we went into a flag match. Tavion Heights won, and then we got into this match, and Ethan Page and them have a pretty good match. Ethan Page is picking up the win with a really crazy combo. It was like a power slam, picked him up into a twisted grin, and picked up the win. So that's who I picked, so put me at 2-0. I did not see Tavion Heights winning this title. I wish we could have got the same treatment for Miles Bourne coming out of the NQCC, and maybe had him get a push just like this where he instantly went to the title picture. I know he was kind of in the title picture while he was still in the NQCC, but now he's kind of gone away from that completely. But it looks like we're taking the right steps to building up both members of the NQCC up now that they're out of the group. So I'm really excited to see where we go from here. And Ethan Page's title reign, to me, has been still pretty fun. I just think this wasn't a great storyline, but it was still providing pretty good matches. But it's coming in at number 5. At number 4, we have the NXT Women's Championship match between Lola Vice and JC Jane. Now, this match, I thought this match was going to be great. I thought this match might even come in at number 1 because JC Jane has been impressing the hell out of me recently, and Lola Vice is amazing in her own right. So I thought this match was going to be very, very good. But it really just ended up being okay. Let's go ahead and start with, at one point, Fallon Henley was supposed to pull the referee out of the ring, but she was incredibly late, and it just ended up looking like Lola Vice was the champion. Lola Vice should have won the championship right then and there, because the ref was very, very late on the hit, because Fallon Henley was late to pull out the ref. So it looked like right there that Lola should have already won the championship. She ended up, of course, not winning the championship. We had a masked figure come out. Which actually, since I'm recording this so late, I have the benefit of hindsight, to tell you guys that it was Lainey Reed that was the masked figure. Looks like they're trying to add a new member into Fatal Influence now that Jasmine Nix is most likely leaving the company, which sucks because I really thought she was a great wrestler. But anyways, so as Lainey Reed comes out in a mask to take down Lola, and that's going to give JC Jane the win. I think JC Jane's reign has been very good, and I think she's had it long enough now to where we're not going to look at her as like the worst champion, because that's what I think everybody's fear was when they made her champion, was that she was going to be looked at as the worst champion because no one saw her beating Stephanie. No one saw her holding this title more than a week or a month, and now she's still having a great reign with it, and I think it's a very entertaining reign. I just thought this was Lola Vice's time, and this was a perfect place for Lola Vice to be champion in front of her, family, and she's had such like a great representation recently on NXT, getting so much TV time backstage with vignettes, with promos. And I thought this was just the perfect time to give it to Lola Vice, but that was not the case, and JC Jane picked up the win, not what I predicted, so I am at 2-1. At number 3, we have Javon Evans versus Josh Briggs. This was a match that was kind of just thrown together and put onto the card. It seemed like halfway through the match, they just started saying that it was like for a future TNA X Division title shot, so now we're just making up matches on NXT for TNA titles and making up matches on TNA for NXT titles. Like we saw with Mustafa Ali getting a match now, which I guess was still an NXT storyline, but anyways, so it looks like Javon Evans is going to be fighting Leon Slater sometime soon, which is a match that I'm super excited for. But this match was pretty entertaining. Of course, Josh Briggs has came into his own recently. He's looking absolutely great. Javon Evans is one of the best wrestlers in NXT, if not the best wrestler on NXT, and they put on a very entertaining, great match with no stakes for the most part. So it's coming in at number 3. Javon Evans then picking up a win, which is what I predicted, so put me at 3-1. Coming in at number 2, we had the main event of NXT No Mercy, where Ricky Starks took on Obafemi. Now, this match overall was pretty entertaining. I just think there was some parts in it that was a little bit slower, where we had a lot of break time in between. But overall, I thought the match was pretty good. We had a DDT on the announce table by Ricky Saints, which kind of set up the end in this match. And that ended up setting up the end for Ricky Saints to hit like 10 DDTs. Obafemi was going to hit DDTs left and right all over this match, and it ended up setting up the end. We ended up hitting like 6 DDTs. We didn't get a Rochambeau, which makes sense because Obafemi is a bigger guy. It's kind of hard for Ricky Saints to pick him up. So he's kind of been using this DDT, the Tornado DDT, as a finisher for the bigger guys. And he hit like 3 or 4 of them on Obafemi, and he ends up picking up the NXT Championship. Ricky Saints won the NXT Championship, which I did not expect one bit, which puts me at 3-2. This was like the biggest swerve of the night. I did not for a second think that we were going to see this from Ricky Saints. I thought for sure Obafemi was going to continue this reign, and we were going to get into Oba versus Trick again, but Ricky Saints is the new NXT champion. That's absolutely crazy. A lot of these AEW guys coming over and getting treated like royalty on NXT, which I think is great because Ethan Page and Ricky Saints definitely 2 of the best pickups that NXT has got from AEW. So I was really excited for Ricky Saints to be there. He wins the North American title within a little bit, and then within even less time, he wins the NXT championship. So Ricky Saints is your NXT champion. I could not see Obafemi losing this title for a really long time, and now I'm guessing Obafemi is just going to end up going on the main roster. I really don't think there's anything left for Obafemi to do down in NXT. So I'm really excited for that when that happens. I did not see this happening at all, though. I had my mouth wide open. I had my mouth wide open, just sitting there staring at the TV for maybe like 3 minutes after Ricky Saints pinned Obafemi. I just could not believe that actually happened. Like, Obafemi actually lost the title. That just seemed like something that was not going to happen, especially in this storyline. I feel like the storyline didn't necessarily call for Obafemi to lose the title. I felt like it should have been a bigger storyline. But hey, Ricky Saints is the NXT champion. I'm never going to complain about that. Coming at number 1, we have the Steel Cage Hardcore match between Blake Monroe and Jordan Grace. Now, this match was absolutely insane from the get-go. Of course, it was always going to be when they announced it was going to be a steel cage, and this being the big conclusion, most likely, to their rivalry. You know they're going to come out swinging, and there was so many crazy spots in this match. We had a part where Blake Monroe was cutting off Jordan Grace's hair. I don't know if they were extensions or her real hair, but she was getting her hair cut live in the ring while being tied up with a hairdryer. We had a lot of crazy spots with weapons that were kind of stylized to be like Blake Monroe's weapons. They were like pink, and we had like a hairdryer in there, like I said, like a bunch of Blake Monroe's character style weapons. And the match overall just went off without a hitch. There was not too many mess ups, not too many slow times, and sometimes when wrestlers get put in a steel cage match, they have less room to mess around with, so they kind of fold under pressure. But these two looked absolutely great in this match. Of course, this match ends with a top of the cage air raid crash to Blake Monroe through a table, and that was an absolutely insane spot, definitely spot of the night, and that is enough to give Jordan Grace the win, which is what I predicted. So I end the night 4-2. If it wasn't for the 2 big title matches, I would have ended up being flawless on this PLE, but it wasn't to be. But I think without a doubt that was the number 1 match overall on the show. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, go ahead and leave a like on the video. Leave in the comments what your favorite match from NXT No Mercy was. Subscribe while you're down there. Ring the bell if you're notified when I drop a video like this one. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
This happened if I had real tough love. I'm bad at this, and I'm bad for this.
Narcissistic tendencies, I don't care about no one else. Narcissistic tendencies, I'm low, so set me on the shelf. Few people ever have my back, yeah, there ain't no doubt about that.
Right up your butt.